On the road to Augusta, we honor the places where history lives, not just in trophies, but in the soil beneath your feet. That's the spirit of McConnell Golf. What began with the preservation of Donald Ross's final design at Raleigh Country Club has grown into the largest owner of premier private clubs in the Southeast. Today, their portfolio spans 17 exceptional properties across the Carolinas, Tennessee, and Virginia, featuring courses designed by legends like Ross, Pete Dye, Tom Fazio, Arnold Palmer, and Greg Norman. And consider this: Sedgefield Country Club, home of the PGA Tour's Wyndham Championship, is also where the Atlantic Coast Conference was founded back in 1953. That's not just golf history, that's sports history. McConnell Golf lives by a simple motto: pure golf for the true golfer. Championship conditions, remarkable hospitality, and a family-focused club lifestyle that extends well beyond the fairways. To learn more about this extraordinary collection of clubs, visit mcconnellgolf.com. McConnell Golf, where championship golf meets lasting tradition. At Augusta National, nothing is ever finished until it's finished. A 6-shot lead, gone. A Sunday, slipping away. And a champion, forced to begin again. Rory McIlroy didn't cruise to history. He fought for it. And in the end, the champion, for the second year in a row, the man from Hollywood, Northern Ireland, Rory McIlroy, Masters champion. McConnell Golf presents the season finale of Road to Augusta. Here's your host, Ward Clayton.
Final episode of the Road to Augusta for the 90th Masters Tournament. Rory McIlroy repeats, finishes at -12. He beats Scottie Scheffler by 1 stroke. He beats Terrell Hatton, Russell Henley, Justin Rose, and Cam Young by 2. So defends his title, wins $4.5 million for finishing first. Key stretch of the Masters final round occurred at Amen Corner, as it usually does. He made a nice par on 11, Rory did. Then on the 12th hole, with a difficult back right pin position on the short par 3 hole, he had a little cut 9-iron. The wind helped it move a little bit to the right, hit it about 6 feet, made birdie. Came back on the 13th hole, missed the green with his second shot in the swell behind the green, made a nice putt from the swell over the hill and down to a difficult pin position, hit it to 5 feet, made that for birdie, proceeded to make 4 pars, and then he had a little wiggle room on the 18th hole. Even though he drove it right to right off the tee, he was able to make bogey and win by 1 shot. Rory McIlroy is your defending champion. His statistics today or this week were pretty alarming. First in driving distance for the field, averaging 334.4 yards. That's pretty outstanding. But he balances that out when he was 54th in driving accuracy, hitting only 55% of the fairways. That was next to last among those who made the cut. And he was 3rd in putting, had 111 putts for the course of the week. That's 28 putts per round. So key stretch at Amen Corner, as usual, had a variety of statistics to look at. One note is that Rory discussed that for the last couple of weeks, Augusta National has been his home course. He's played here quite a bit, using the advice of Jack Nicklaus, who told the story about how he used to come in beforehand and not just practice, but play one ball, much like it was a competitive round. And Rory indicated doing that for a couple of weeks made him feel a little more at ease as he came in here. And of course, he had a 6-stroke lead after 36 holes, was tied for the lead with Cam Young going into Sunday's final round, then shot 71, and he wins the Masters tournament. So Rory's great performance, is just something we've come to expect here recently. Is if you're North Carolinians and those with North Carolina ties in the Masters, Cam Young, former Wake Forest star, finished tied for third, shot 73 in the final round. Another former Demon Deacon, Michael Brennan, shot 73 also, and he finished tied for 24th. Two University of North Carolina Tar Heels, Ben Griffin, who grew up in Chapel Hill, shot 77, including 39 on the back nine, and he finished tied for 33rd. His former teammate in Chapel Hill, who's from Raleigh, Ryan Gerard, also shot 77, went out in 40 on the front nine, and he finished T38. So none of those guys, other than Cam Young, threatened to finish in the top 10. This week, the most difficult hole was the fifth hole, the long par 4, and the easiest hole was the par 5, eighth hole. So you got a little mix of that on the front nine about what was working and so forth. The next Masters, April 8 through 11, 2027. Can't wait for that to come around. The big storyline already will be, can Rory three-peat? So if you look at the three men who have won twice in going for a three-peat, would include Jack Nicklaus, who won in 1965, 1966, came back in 1967, and he missed the cut. Tiger Woods won 2001, 2002, came back in 2003, finished T15. And then Nick Faldo, who won in 1989, 1990, came back in 1991 and finished T12. So none of those guys really contended for a three-peat. So let's see if Rory can do that. I had a great time doing this podcast during the last couple of months to get ready for the Masters. We've had local journalists like David Weston from Augusta, John Boyett from Aiken at Augusta, Scottie Michaud joined us during the course of the tournament this year. John Patrick, who I call the voice of Augusta, joined us to talk a little bit about the culture of Augusta. Same way we had Sam Farmer from the LA Times with us, talking a little bit about the secrecy of the green jacket. We also talked to Alan Shipnook about his book, Rory, which is prophetic. It tells the story of how Rory came up in the golf world and became a young star, and then how he won last year, and now he's won again. Great time to publish a book, Alan. And then Bill Fields, my pal from Southern Pines, who worked for Golf Digest forever, and he discussed his new memoir, which just came out, A Quick Nine Before Dark. So all these people joined us. We also discussed the culture of Augusta even more so. We talked about food in Augusta. We talked about music in Augusta. We talked about flowers in Augusta. And we talked about patrons in Augusta. So we covered everybody there. We talked about some of my favorite folks. We talked about caddies. We talked about with Carl Jackson. Had a long episode with Carl, which was outstanding. We had another Augusta caddy, William Lanier, who still caddies on the PGA Tour, to talk about some of the strategy around Augusta National. We talked to 1971 Masters champion Charlie Cootie. We talked to high school senior Mason Howell from Thomasville, Georgia, about his upcoming date with Rory McIlroy to play with him in the first two rounds at the Masters, and I'm sure he's going to be a superstar. Kid's really got a great head on his shoulders. One of the most interesting podcasts we did was with Lawrence Bennett, the son of longtime Augusta National caddy master Freddie Bennett. And Lawrence talked about a little bit of everything, including what happens to a green jacket when it gets old and tattered. You'll have to listen to that one and learn more about that. We talked to Keith Stewart about wagering and how people wager for the Masters. So we've talked to a whole array of people in this series leading up to and during Masters Week. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Let us know what you think about it. Somebody you'd like to see us talk to, some topic you want us to cover. We'd love to hear about that when we return come next winter leading into the Masters, or maybe even earlier. Who knows? We may have some other add-ons about golf in the Carolinas or Masters-oriented content. So once again, thanks for joining us. Rory McIlroy's his good luck charm as far as repeats are concerned. So on a three-peat, maybe it'll be the same situation. So Road to Augusta with Ward Clayton. I've enjoyed doing it. Thanks to McConnell Golf for sponsoring this. It's been awesome to have them along for the ride, and we'll do it again next year. And so everybody get your pimento cheese sandwiches and your pollen ready, and we'll do this again come next February. Thank you very much.
Looks like there's rain up ahead, like there's a crack in the heavens. Feels like my day could be turning, like I can tell that my luck's gonna change. If you could see me now, I'd probably let you down, but that's enough for me. You got me begging, baby. Looks like I'm on my knees again. Feels like the walls are closing in. Looks like I'm on my knees again. Looks like the tables have turned, like there's a change in the weather. Feels like my time is returning, like I'm about to get out of this cage. If you could see me now, I'd probably let you down, but that's enough for me. You got me begging, baby.